Hello friends, and welcome to Escaping the Mouse with your host, me, Breck Roll. Alright, today we're going to do another Bites and Nibbles segment. Today's recipe, if you were listening to the live stream a couple weeks ago, not the last one I did, but the one before that, where my mom just kind of randomly called in the middle of the show, she mentioned my Aunt Sally's baked egg casserole recipe, and I was kind of looking, thumbing through the recipes that I had, and I couldn't quite find it. So a couple days later, my Uncle Paul sent me a copy of it, and it looks really good, and apparently it's something I've had a bunch of times, but I don't remember having it. But my mom says it's really good. The recipe looks really good, and she says every time she's prepared it, it's been very popular. So we are going to try that today. This is a traditional recipe. You can do this in the oven. You don't need an Instant Pot for this one. So let's get going with it. So these are the ingredients that we need for our baked egg casserole dish. First off, we need some cheddar cheese, some sliced white bread, some half and half, some ground mustard, some white pepper, some salt, some milk, eggs of course because it's an egg casserole, and some bacon. Now we're not going to actually be able to finish this recipe today because part of the preparation means that you have to let it sit in the refrigerator overnight. Apparently that's a big key component to all of this. So we're going to prepare it today, let it sit in the refrigerator tonight, and then we'll cook it tomorrow and try it tomorrow. So you'll see that all in one video, but just let you know this one takes a little time. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to beat 6 eggs together just to get it all mixed up. And once I get it all mixed up the way I have it here, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to pour in 1 cup of half and half, 2 cups of milk, 1/4 teaspoon of white pepper, and 3/4 teaspoon of ground mustard. And then we're just going to kind of all mix it all together, and we're going to put this aside until we're ready for it. Now next I need to prepare the bread. The recipe calls for 1 pound of bread, and the bread is actually 1.5 pounds. So I'm going to take about 2/3 of this, and that should be 1 pound. And I'm going to pull the crust off of it, and then I'm going to cube the rest of it. So I opened up the windows because I love the sound of the rain. So first thing I'm going to do is we're going to cut the crust off of the bread, and then we're going to cube it and put it into this little bowl right here. Alright, so first thing I'm going to do is just put some cooking spray on my 9x13 cooking pan. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to spread the bread just kind of evenly over the bottom of the pan. First a layer of bread. I'm going to put 1/3 of the bread because we're actually going to make multiple layers out of this. It's going to be kind of like that lasagna that we did. And then about half the cheese. I'm just going to kind of coat the cheese around nice and evenly in here, because this is what makes it nice and good and really, really unhealthy. Because, cheese and eggs, I mean, what do you expect? But this, it's going to taste good. You can hear the thunder outside, that's kind of fun. Or maybe a little ominous. Then I'm going to put some more bread. And then the rest of the cheese. The recipe calls for a sharp cheddar, and since I'm a huge fan of sharp cheddar anyway, you know I'm going with that. And then top it off with another layer of bread. Running out of bread a little bit, so we're going to do this a little thinner here. And then I'm going to pour my egg mixture on top of it, and I'm just going to basically kind of cover the whole thing, kind of get it evenly spread around here. Then the recipe kind of says pat everything down, make sure that we're kind of getting everything kind of pressed in here. You want to kind of squeeze the bread a little bit here so that it kind of all absorbs the mixture. So I'm just going to do that with a rubber scraper here. I know some people call this a spatula, but in America this is a rubber scraper, so I'm going to go with that. And then we're going to move on to the next ingredient. And the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to actually use my cast iron fry pan to prepare bacon. I need to have between 8 and 10 strips of bacon. I like bacon, so I'm going to go with 10. And so, but since I got only a certain size fry pan, I'm going to kind of cook them a couple at a time here. So we're making some bacon. That was a good one. That one was really close because I saw the flash and then like a quarter second later the blast hit. So that had to be a couple hundred feet away from here. That was amazing. I'm actually glad I got that on camera. I was just about to turn the camera off. Alright, so I got all my bacon prepared and I've just kind of ground it up into little bits and pieces here. And we're just going to kind of coat it all over the top of this. And this is what's going to really give it the flavor. Because what goes better with eggs than bacon, right? Make sure we get it all over the place here, because this is the real sizzle here. Alright, that looks pretty good, doesn't it? So next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get a little aluminum foil, and we're going to put that over the top of this, and we're going to throw this thing in the refrigerator overnight. So I'm going to let that sit in the refrigerator overnight, and we'll catch up with you again tomorrow. That'll just be a couple minutes for you, because this is video and we can pass the time by really quickly. But I'm going to let you look at a little bit of this rainstorm we had, because that was kind of fun too. Enjoy. Yeah, see what I mean when I say I need to raise up this part of the yard when the sprinklers go off or when it rains? Yeah, this is where all the water accumulates. So yeah, future project here, we're bringing this side up the way we did the other, and hopefully that will eliminate this mess. Alright, it's the next day and this is sat in the refrigerator all night. I think the point of doing that is just to basically allow the liquid to kind of get into every little nook and cranny in the liquid, or in the bread concoction there, just so that you have a good mix. And that's done now, so next thing we got to do is cook it. So I'm going to go over here to the oven, and we're going to preheat the oven to 350 degrees. And start. I always seem to forget the start part, and I come back like 10 minutes later and nothing happened. So we're preheating the oven now, and once we get up to temperature, we're going to put that in and cook it for 30 minutes. Catch up with you in a few. Alright, the oven is preheated, so we're going to put our concoction in here, uncovered, and we're going to cook it for 30 minutes. See you in 30 minutes. Alright, 30 minutes have passed and it is out of the oven. Basically you want to look for the bread to be just kind of a little brown on the top, and it puffs up a little bit as a result of, because the eggs tend to expand a little bit as they cook. So I'm going to let this rest for a couple minutes, and then we're going to cut this up and try it. Looks good though, doesn't it? Alright, it's taste test time. I can already tell I'm going to love this because it smells really good. It's got a lot of things in it I like. I love eggs, I love bacon, I love cheese. they're all good together. And so let's give this thing a taste test here and see what we got. Yeah, really good, really good. Love the cheesy flavor. It's got a good flavor to it. I'd probably add a little bit of salt to it. That's just my own personal taste. But definitely recommend this. This is something I'll definitely make again, and I recommend you check it out. I'll put the recipe in the description below. Check it out if it sounds like something you'd be into. And other than that, I think that is all that I have for today. Thank you as always for watching, and I'll see you next time on Escaping the Mouse. Bon appetit!